Hi all, it's Juliet Sydney again from Bamboo. On a bit of a roll today, trying to get out a few how-to videos for clients and the wider Wix community. You can see here where I've run through and shown you how to add and edit text, and also the same with images. So for the next video how-to, we're going over to the add panel and showing you how to add a button. Here we go. If you click on the buttons, you get various different types of buttons, theme buttons, which should be themed to your site, text and icon buttons, which have a little bit more sort of activities going on and functionality. They do and show a little bit more. We've got icon buttons, document buttons, iTunes buttons, pay and PayPal buttons. So you can see there's quite a few buttons, all with slightly different ways to use. But today we're just going to focus on an ordinary themed button. So if we click on the button that we want, and it simply pops it into the site. Again, as per every other element that we've shown before, it appears on the site with the blue box around it. And again, we've got the various icons above to allow us to make changes to the button. So if we click on it and drag and move it, so this time I'm going to align it with the text. You'll see my pink align button. And often you are looking to place particular buttons on a site. Again, another nice thing that we did do with the text is you may want a couple of buttons on a site, so it is easy to click on our toolbar and duplicate the buttons. So click on duplicate and we get another button. Again, look, I can align it up so that it's perfectly centered with the button above and lines up the top half with the bottom half of the image. So again, you can see how it's easy to move components around on your website and align them sort of perfectly. So obviously, if we've got a button, often if we're using buttons, we will use a call to action. So it could be buy now, click here, more information, basically ways of moving people through a site so that they can find the information that they want. So if we wish to change the text from button to something else, we simply click on the change button, and here we go. We can say buy now. Obviously, if we wanted the text capitalized, then all we need to do is put the cap locks on our keyboard, and it'll work that way. Again, if we wish to link and add to potentially download a document or an email or go to a different page, as I say, on my dummy site, I've only got this one home page. Might be worth me perhaps setting up another page in another video just to sort of show a bit more functionality there. But again, just to show you for now, if we click on here, again, we're adding the link. We've seen this quite a few times. Click on done. And again, you can see both in here and up here, we can see that the item is linked. Again, on preview, if we click on the button, we go through to the site or the page that we've linked to, or the action that we've linked to. We've got various layouts, so we can have the text sitting to the left or to the right. And obviously, if we were doing something like that, we perhaps wouldn't want it to come off here. It looks a bit ugly being so close to the side. So again, look, we can set margins, so perhaps to come out to 20. I have to say, generally, I'm keeping my button text to the center. But again, it very much depends on your design and what you're trying to achieve at any one time. And sometimes we're coming up with different ideas and trying them, so it's always worth looking at. We've also got the design of the button. So here you'll see if we go into preview and we hover over the button, you see it fades on hover. So that will have been set up in this design section. So the little pen here is for design. You click on the pen and click on customize design, and then you've got these various options, and you can see you've got both regular and on hover, and also again you've got a bit like we did for the image look, you can change the style of how the button shows, so you can just literally scroll through those and see any that you might like. You might wish to have more of an arrow in your button, but I think for this instance I want to keep things fairly straightforward. I think I might decide to change the colour though. I might go for this nice orange colour perhaps on here. I quite like that. Then perhaps on hover, I might decide to go for a slightly different colour. So perhaps whereas we had the blue look, I might go for this. Actually, this is slightly paler orange. So now look, when I'm previewing, I go from the very full on to the pen. That I quite like that. That looks quite nice. Again, we go back in. So these are on the fills and on hover. Then you've got the border. So what the border looks like. You may decide that you don't even want to show a border, which you could just pull off like this, pulling it down, or just change the border colour. That would be another way to keep you wouldn't even see a border. But actually on this look, there's no width, so it wasn't showing anyway. You've got a hover option with the border as well. Corners, so would you like to make them perhaps rounded buttons? So again, if you put in one, it'll do them all, look, and if you can see now, we've got it's quite cute. And again, what you're often trying to do here is you click on the design and you might decide perhaps you want it a little bit more rounder. So you might try 10. Click away. Yeah, I'm quite liking that. So it's up to you to just keep playing about, and you'll probably get used to the corners that you like, and the style that you like. You can create a shadow. Again, not something I often use. You can play about here and generate a bit of a shadow look. You see here, there's a bit of a shadow feel on the button. Not necessarily one of my favourites, but again, I think it very much depends on what you're doing at any one time. And then we've got text. So again, remember from when we were in the text, you've got, you might decide that you want to change this text to blue. Now, this is on regular, but perhaps on hover, it stays as white, or perhaps it might be black now on hover. So if we change those and we click on preview, you can see how it changes. So it's up to you to sort of play about with these things. And you'll notice then that you've got in my buttons, it's building up this button. So if you wanted to create another of these buttons, you could literally just create another button. So clicking on here, and then you could change it to my button, which is quite cool as well. Although sometimes it's just as easy to duplicate as I showed earlier. So again, we change the text. You could change the paragraph. So if you wanted something that was, bigger by using one of the themed headings, or one of the ones you'd set up, you can change the font. You might decide you want a totally different looking font. Not that that looks great, but you get the feeling. And again, you can change the size. So perhaps that's 15. And you can bold and italicize if you so wish. So you've got quite a lot of options with the button. You're really not stuck at all. And as I say, there are even different types of buttons which have got different different functions. So for example, perhaps this one's got like a little rocket, which is quite cool, and it does sort of a little bit more things. So it's worth playing about with the buttons, adding them. Again, they work in the same way, but just a little bit more complex and a few more layers with these. You can change here, look, the text, and in this, because there's a little icon, you can flip and replace the icon. So we're going back to Media Manager, and then you'd need to find perhaps an icon either from your from the Wix media files, or perhaps from one of your files on your site, so you could upload as well. So just to give you an idea. Anyway, hopefully that gives you a good idea on buttons. Again, if you've got any questions, then please reach out, or anything else you'd like me to chat about, and I will try and do another video as soon as possible. Nice talking to you all. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.